Welcome to At the Public Library, the video source for news and information about the San Francisco Public Library System, here on City Watch, cable channel 54 in San Francisco.
The main library offers a free orientation to the San Francisco Public Library System and the new online public access catalog every first Saturday of the month. The sessions run for an hour and provide a basic introduction to the library and its collections. Library orientations on the first Saturday of the month begin at 2 p.m. and take place in the Lurie Room of the main library. Times and schedules may change. Call 557-4400 for more information.
Books, check them out. Books, check them out. Pick up a book. You got a fantasy, imagination can take you to where you want to be. Are you curious? How can you find out? Books, check them out. Books, check them out. Read about stars and cars, play electric guitars, or cops that work hard, patrolling the boulevard, the heavyweight champ and his craziest bout. Books, check them out. Books, check them out. At your library.
Stay tuned now for the San Francisco Public Library calendar of events for children for the month of September. Beginning with the Merced Branch, after-school story time on Fridays at 4 p.m. for ages 5 and over. And on Saturday mornings, September 2nd, 16th, 23rd, and 30th at 11 a.m., a preschool story time for children ages 3 to 5. That's all at the Merced Branch Library, located at 155 Winston Drive at 19th Avenue. The Glen Park Branch holds a preschool story time for children ages 3 to 5 on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. and again at 10:45 a.m. That's the Glen Park Branch, located at 653 Chenery Street. Or at the Ingleside Branch preschool story time on Tuesday mornings, September 5th and 19th at 10 a.m. A crafts program for children ages 6 and over on September 8th at 3:30 in the afternoon. And on September 12th and 26th, preschool videos for ages 3 to 5 at 10 a.m. On September 13th at 3:30 p.m., after-school videos. That's all at the Ingleside Branch at 387 Ashton Avenue. The Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch has preschool film programs on Tuesday mornings at 10:15 and 10:45 a.m. On September 11th and 25th, a preschool story time at 10:15 and 10:45 a.m. for ages 3 to 5. On September 13th at 3:30 p.m., after-school movies for ages 6 and over. And on September 18th, Jimbo the Clown visits at 10:15 in the morning for ages 3 to 6. On September 27th, a crafts program for children at 3:30 in the afternoon for ages 6 and over. That's all at the Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch Library, located at 5075 3rd Street. The Ortega Branch has a preschool story time each Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for ages 2 to 5. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m., Family Night Story Time. On September 5th and the 19th, a crafts program for ages 2 to 5 at 11 a.m. And on September 6th and 20th at 7:30 p.m., a Family Night crafts program. That's all at the Ortega Branch, located at 3223 Ortega Street. At the Sunset Branch, Tuesdays are preschool activity days. On September 5th, 12th, and 26th, preschool story time for ages 2 to 5 is at 10:30 a.m. On September 19th, preschool film showings at 10:30 and 11:15 a.m. and again at 1:30 p.m. On Tuesdays at 7 in the evening, a family night program. And on September 20th at 7 p.m., an evening video program for ages 6 and over. On September 29th, a puppet show for ages 6 and over at 3:30 in the afternoon. That's all at the Sunset Branch Library, located at 1305 18th Avenue at Irving. The West Portal branch has preschool story time on Wednesdays at 7 in the evening for ages 3 to 5. And on September 5th, 19th, and 26th at 10:30 in the morning. On September 9th, family music program at 10:30 a.m. On the 12th at 10:30 in the morning, a preschool video program. And on the 16th at 11 in the morning, a preschool film program. That's all at the West Portal Branch Library, located at 190 Lenox Way at Ulloa. The North Beach branch has preschool story time on Thursday mornings, September 7th, 14th, and 28th at 10:45 a.m. And preschool videos on September 21st at 10, 10:30, and 11 a.m., and again at 2:15 and 3 p.m. Also on September 21st, after-school videos for ages 6 and over at 3:45 p.m. And on September 26th, a puppet show for ages 3 to 7 at 10:15 a.m. That's all at the North Beach branch, located at 2000 Mason Street at Columbus. The Marina branch is showing Tales of Beatrix Potter in a preschool video program for children ages 3 to 5 on Tuesday, September 12th at 10:30 a.m. That's at the Marina branch, located at 1890 Chestnut Street near Webster. At the Ocean View branch on September 14th, there's a preschool film program at 10:30 a.m. and an afternoon film program at 3:30 p.m. On September 21st, La Sana Bandele the Storyteller at 3:30 p.m. On September 28th at 10:30 in the morning, a preschool story time for ages 3 to 5. And at 3:30 in the afternoon, an afternoon story time for ages 3 to 5. That's all at the Ocean View Branch Library at 111 Broad Street near Plymouth. The Potrero Branch Library is having an accordion bookmaking craft program on Saturday, September 16th at 2 p.m. That's the Potrero Branch Library, located at 1616 20th Street near Connecticut. The Richmond branch has a preschool story time for ages 3 to 5 on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And on September 19th and 20th, a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5, featuring the Country Mouse and the City Mouse, the Dingles, and the Happy Lion. On the 19th at 10:15 and 11 a.m., and on the 20th at 7 p.m. That's all at the Richmond Branch Library, located at 351 9th Avenue. The Western Addition branch welcomes Auto the Auto from the California State Automobile Association. That's September 26th at 10:30 a.m. for traffic safety classes with Auto the Auto. That's all at the Western Addition branch at 1550 Scott Street.
Every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m., the main library children's department hosts the Chess Club for children of all ages. International, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Korean chess are offered, as well as Go and Scrabble. That's the Chess Club in the main children's department at the main library, every Friday at 3 p.m.
Bring your young children to the library for a free program of stories, songs, and rhymes. Here's the Lapsit schedule. Lapsit takes place in the main library children's room Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Anza, Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. Chinatown, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Merced, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mission Branch, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Noe Valley Sally Brunn, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. The North Beach Branch, Thursdays at 10:15 a.m. Ortega Branch, Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Parkside, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Potrero Branch, Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. The Presidio, first Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Richmond, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. West Portal, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. And Western Addition, Saturdays at 11 a.m. And why not check out some children's books while you're at the library?
Middle school children are invited to sign up for the Murder Mystery at the Library event coming up this fall at the Bayview Anna E. Wadden branch on Wednesday, October 25th at 7 p.m. The murder mystery programs are a mix between a scavenger hunt and a live game of Clue, and they are a fun way to use the library to discover all sorts of mysterious things. Middle schoolers can sign up by stopping by the Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch Library at 5075 3rd Street or call 715-4100.
My name is Deborah Lee Watson from Martin Luther King Summer School. This book is called Be a Perfect Person in Just 3 Days. It's about a boy who went into a library and a book fell on his head, and he checked it out and he read it. It was about being a perfect person. And on the first day, he had to go a whole day without eating. And then the second day, he had to go a whole day without eating or sleeping. And the third day, he had to go a whole day without eating, sleeping, or doing anything, but he failed the test. I like this book because it was interesting. And the part I didn't like about it was when he couldn't have anything, he couldn't sleep or eat or do anything because I couldn't be able to do that, and I knew that he couldn't. I'd recommend this book to my friends.
Hi, my name is Nasruddin Mirzar, and I am a 7th grader, and I am from Benjamin Franklin. This is the book I am going to talk about. It is Sam Chin and the River Dragon. The best part that I like about is the end of the book, and it talks about a lot of things that you should know about. It is the best book that I read about, and I like the things that when the dragon helped the man saved his life, and it helps the woman to be a princess. Thank you.
Don't miss the fun, the excitement, and the bargains of the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library 31st Annual Book Sale, Thursday, September 28th through Sunday, October 1st, in the Herbst Pavilion at Fort Mason. The sale gets underway on Thursday the 28th at 4 p.m. with a special preview sale and silent auction of rare and collectible books. Entry to the preview is $15. Entry is free for the remainder of the sale on Friday, open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., with all books on sale for half off. The Friends Annual Book Sale is the largest book sale in the West, and this year, 60,000 books will be available for purchase. Proceeds from the Friends Book Sale support your public library, so don't miss the Friends Annual Book Sale, September 28th through October 1st at the Herbst Pavilion in Fort Mason. 2 documentary films will be presented at this month's film program at the Noe Valley Sally Brum Memorial Branch Library on September 20th at 7 p.m. Starting off the program is Werner Herzog Eats His Shoe by Bay Area filmmaker Les Blank. German filmmaker Herzog is filmed eating his shoe after losing a bet with fellow filmmaker Errol Morris.
I'm quite convinced that cooking is the only alternative to filmmaking. Maybe there's also another alternative, that's walking on foot. Stuff some garlic into each one. Oh, that's very hot.
The second film is the 1978 winner of the Academy Award for feature-length documentary, Who Are the DeBolts and Where Did They Get 19 Kids? The film tells the story of Dorothy and Robert DeBolt of Piedmont, California, and their special family.
John, if I tie your shoes today, will you tie mine tomorrow? Do you think that's a good idea?
That's only a fair deal.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's a fair deal.
Okay. Gotta pay, Bob. I can't tie good, so,
Well,
that's
okay,
all
neither
right.
can I. What makes you think I can?
And I can't even tie at all, so.
Well, what makes you think I can? That's why I need your help.
There you are. I can't help, because I can't do it.
Okay, we'll do it together. How's that?
Yeah?
The guilt feelings in parents who have given birth to children with handicaps, they're very strong, and they have a very difficult time dealing with this. But we've been spared that.
The 16mm screening of Werner Herzog Eats His Shoe and Who Are the DeBolts and Where Did They Get 19 Kids will begin at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 20th at the Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch Library. The Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch Library is located at 451 Jersey Street and is open on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Wednesdays from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., Thursdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday 1 to 6 p.m., and Saturday noon to 6 p.m. Hi, I'm David Schwabe for At the Public Library here at the Richmond Branch Library located at 351 9th Avenue. The Richmond Branch Library is the first of 6 branch libraries that were built with funds donated to the city of San Francisco by industrialist Andrew Carnegie. This Carnegie branch has stood as an oasis of knowledge, information, and pleasure since 1914. In 1901, Andrew Carnegie, the steel tycoon and philanthropist, offered the city of San Francisco $750,000 for the construction of several branch libraries and a main library and civic center. From 1881 until his death in 1919, the self-educated Carnegie donated funds for the construction of over 2,500 public libraries throughout the world, 1,700 of which were built in the United States. But it wasn't until 1912 that the citizens of San Francisco voted to accept the Carnegie funds, which many people felt were tainted due to the union-busting practices employed by the management of the Carnegie Steel Company during the 1892 steelworkers' strike at the Carnegie-owned Homestead Steel Mill. Andrew Carnegie, who had laid the basis of an enormously successful business career with study at the first free library in Western Pennsylvania, believed that public libraries are the most democratic instrument of public education. In total, Andrew Carnegie pledged $45 million for the construction of free public libraries. The $750,000 Carnegie grant to the city of San Francisco was divided in two, with $375,000 allotted to the construction of a main library to replace the main that was destroyed along with the City Hall in the 1906 earthquake. And the other half of the donation was given for the construction of several branch libraries. After the voters of San Francisco ratified the acceptance of the Carnegie funds, the Board of Supervisors immediately authorized the construction of the Richmond Branch Library to begin. Construction was started in January of 1914, and the branch was completed in 10 months at a cost of $47,800. With Mayor James Rolfe in attendance, the Richmond Branch Library was dedicated on Sunday, November 8, 1914. Situated in the middle of the block in a beautiful parked setting, the Richmond Branch was designed in an austere Italian style by architects Bliss and Favalier, who also designed the St. Francis Hotel, the State Building and Civic Center, and the Geary Theater. The building contains 2 floors. A single large reading room occupies the upper main level, and the lower level, originally designed as an auditorium, is now home to the children's room. The exterior walls are made up of stone and polychrome terracotta ornamentation. The main floor reading room is flooded with natural light from 8 large windows. The original 1,700 feet of shelving that surrounds the room is bordered with oak trim. The branch was initially designed to hold 12,000 volumes of books, and that capacity has grown with the addition of several ranges of shelving. What brings you to the Richmond Branch Library today?
I'm visiting my sister from Detroit, and I'm here to write a paper.
Oh, what's the paper going to be about?
The welfare system under a federalist government.
Jason, as a senior adult reference librarian of the Richmond Branch Library, you've made the boastful claim that this is the best reference collection in the branch system. Can you back that up?
Branches. We can't compete with the reference collection at the main library, but of the branches, we have a really excellent collection. We have career reference, we have business reference, we have special sections for California and San Francisco, and we have the usual section on almanacs, but we have maybe more than a smaller branch. How to find a job in San Francisco, how to locate employers in the area, government information, looking up elected officials, just a wide range. And those are the things that are right around me near the reference desk. We also have a reference collection that the public can browse freely and look through and use in the library. We get a very large number of students, middle school and high school students, and they use our reference collection extensively, especially after 3 o'clock. And even in the summer. In recent years, the online catalog has been a major help in our reference work. We use it to find out what materials are available throughout the system, not just in this branch. One of the challenges, though, is to make sure those people who are not used to computers become familiar with it, so we do a lot of instruction on how to use the computer to find information. We have materials in several languages. We have, in addition to the English language materials, we have Chinese language materials, Russian language materials. We have a small Korean and Vietnamese section. We have large print books. We have books on tape. We have language cassettes to learn other languages, and for people who want to learn English whose first language, we have books for people whose first language is Russian and want to learn English, people whose first language is Mandarin or Cantonese and want to learn English. Very good collection that way. We have a very nice fiction collection, quality literature, latest bestsellers, and a very extensive non-fiction collection compared to most branches, and almost all the books go out. It's very rare to see a book that has sat on the shelf for a year. They go out several times a year. Some go out 12, 15 times a year, more. Bestsellers go out 20 and more times a year. Mm-hmm. It's a very well-used collection.
This library has a good collection of the type of books I like to read. They've got cookbooks, a lot of good anthropology, world religion, philosophy, and a lot of stuff on the history of San Francisco. Especially right now, I'm trying to get stuff on the Fillmore and the history of the psychedelic rock scene in San Francisco, and they got several good books here. Mm-hmm. So that's what brings me here today.
Uh-huh. And do you use this branch often?
All the time. I'm here at least once a week.
In addition to having a very large collection of English language materials, reference materials, and materials that can be checked out, we have 2 other very important collections. We have a Russian collection, which is the largest collection of Russian materials in the branches. And its readership is not just people that live right in the neighborhood, but since it's such a large collection compared to other branches, people come from outside the neighborhood to look at the materials as well. And we have newspapers in Russian, in addition to the books. We also have a very large-sized Chinese collection for the branches. We are the second largest collection of Chinese materials we have compared. The only larger branch is Chinatown. And we have newspapers in Chinese and magazines as well. We have people of all ages, from all ethnic backgrounds, and we have staff members from many different backgrounds, and it's a very lively place and very diverse population.
Библиотека неплохая, хорошая, но в данное время мало книг на русском языке. И особенно тех, которые имеется большой спрос у читателей. Читатели написали много предложений руководству библиотеки. для обеспечения, значит, этих книг, или, вернее, приобрести, чтобы было наличие в библиотеке этих произведений. Вот. Но, увы, пока их нету, пока таких нет. Желательно, чтобы было. А круг читателей на русском языке очень много, очень много. Вот мое предложение, чтобы, обеспечили, по возможности обеспечили спрос, значит, у русских читателей этими книгами. Спасибо. Thank you very much.
Well, it has a lot of book here, and it has Chinese book, some science fictions, and lots of them. So, and I like it. Yeah.
Do you come often?
Yeah. Yeah, especially during the summertime, it's boring.
Yeah, so you like to read a lot.
Yeah.
The children's room of the Richmond Branch Library can be entered from the 10th Avenue side of the building, as well as from an interior staircase leading down from the main reading room. With its abundant space and being separated from the main floor, the Richmond Branch Children's Room can be a very busy and lively place. I heard that this is a very quiet and not a very busy children's room. Could you tell us about that?
We're very quiet. No, we're very, very busy in this children's room. Actually, we have been the busiest children's room in the city besides the main children's room, but I understand Sunset Branch is giving us a run for our money now. But we get a lot of all different kinds of kids coming in, classes, kids with their parents. We get children in after school doing school projects and homework, and kids of all different kinds. Well, we have preschool story hour every Tuesday morning and Wednesday night, and we have a toddler lap sit every Saturday at 10:30 in the morning. Those are our regular programs. We also have movies for preschoolers once a month, and other special programs like magicians, storytellers, craft programs, and every summer we have the summer reading program. When kids come in and get prizes for reading books over the summer, and they have a goal of reading 8 books over the whole summer. We have a lot of kids coming in. Actually, we're getting a lot of new books in right now. We have a big picture story collection and a big reader collection, lots of shiny new books, and in addition, we have a pretty large Chinese language collection, and we're getting a lot more books in Russian and Vietnamese and Korean and Japanese and Spanish.
The children's room also has its own reference collection, as well as a wide assortment of magazines for kids. Both the children's room and the main reading room are open 7 days a week, which makes the Richmond Branch Library a very popular place.
Well, I live and work in the area, and I find it's a good place to come during my lunch hour, do some extra reading, and generally just find out about new books and different types of releases that the library holds that bookstores don't.
How often do you come to the Richmond Branch?
I probably come down probably 4 to 5 times per month.
Great. And does it serve all your reading needs?
Well, I think it's real good for the community because there's a diverse group of people that do live in the Richmond, and there's not a lot of places where they can all come together, and I think the library is the best place for that.
For over 80 years, the Richmond Branch Library has been enjoyed by local residents of all ages. And today, Andrew Carnegie's gift continues to be a neighborhood treasure. hang on to your hats. Coming up next on At the Public Library, it's Book Talk with the Book Boys, John Demerritt and Dominic Riley.
Hi, everybody! Hi!
Hey guys, I love your show! You're the greatest bookmakers I've ever been associated with. That'd be $14, please.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, thanks a lot.
I love your show!
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much. $14.
Yeah, okay, see you. Hi, it's Book Talk. Hi, Dominic.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. What do you want to do today? Got any big ideas?
No.
Small ideas?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. You see that trash can over there?
Uh-huh.
That's small.
Yeah.
And you see that San Francisco Public Library bookmobile over there?
Yeah.
Well, that's big.
Uh-huh.
You following me?
No.
Well, you see this building behind us, the San Francisco Public Library?
Yeah. Oh, that's where we do our show.
That's right. That's small.
Yeah.
Now, you see this building next door, the brand new San Francisco Public Library?
Oh, that's where we're going to do our show next year.
Yeah. Well, if Pete Wilson's still in office, yes, that's where.
Yeah.
That's big.
I got an idea.
Okay. What is it, Timmy? Is Timmy in trouble?
No, let's go look for big books, small books.
All right, let's go.
Hey, oh, wait. Where are they?
Well, I don't know. But I'll wager that tower contains more than air. Let's go.
Love your show.
Oh, thanks.
Large books, little books, old books, new books, fresh books, brittle books, black books, blue books, heavy books, light books, good books, bad books, dark books, bright books, funny books, mad books, white books, green books, short books, tall books, dirty books, clean books, big books, small books.
It's Book Talk with John and Dominic. This week, big books, little books. But before we look at books, let's have some viewer mail. Dominic has a letter. Shall we read it, Dominic?
Yes. This letter is from little Sam Bowl, aged 8, of Berkeley. And he says, Dear Book Talk, who was the first bookbinder? Hello, Sam. The first bookbinder was possibly an ancient Greek called Philaetius. According to legend, Philaetius was a learned Athenian. That's somebody from Athens, which is now sadly very badly polluted.
Very bad.
And he was the first person who pointed out the use of a particular glue for fastening the leaves of books together. The Athenians were so taken with this invention that they erected a statue to Philaetius in downtown Athens, just near the McDonald's. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
And now John has a letter.
I have a letter from our friend and colleague, and it says, Dear John and Dominic, I watch Book Talk every time it's on, and I think it's the best thing on TV. But why do you never have any fruit on your show? Yours truly, Molly West. Well, Molly, we're not actually allowed to bring foodstuffs into the library, but we did bring a nice tapered auger for you.
Ah, thanks, Molly. And now let's look at some big books and some small books. Hello, this is the Gould's Book of Birds of Europe from 1837.
It's very, very big.
It's also very heavy. Should we try and put it down?
Yes.
Help me. Oh, here we are. Here's just one picture of one of these. It's a doubtful sparrow. What kind of bird is that, John?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But let's have a look at the book.
Right. Beautiful prints of, and I suppose the main reason that they made books this big was so that they could make life-size prints of these wonderful birds. You see a lot of floral books like this too. Very common Victorian books. when we all became so interested in the world outside of our
Nature,
village.
man, and his environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all started reading Rousseau.
Yeah. So this is a folio book. What does that mean?
Folio book means one sheet. It's the size of one sheet of paper folded in half.
So it would have been printed on a piece of paper twice this size.
Which is probably like a 22 by 30 sheet.
Okay, and then were these printed, or were these printed and then hand colored?
They look hand colored to me, although I wouldn't venture to guess. We should call Alistair Johnson because he'll yell at us if we don't say the right thing.
We're not experts.
Nah.
Blank pages here because they only print on one side of the page. And so let's have a look at the title page, which is very nice. For that, it's very clean. The Birds of Europe by John Gould.
Yeah.
And this book has a fabulous, leather binding.
Leather tooled binding.
With this is one roll that makes this decorative line all the way around with gold leaf.
Now this book's been repaired, it's been rebacked.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
Here. There's a line just here where this book has been
a new
rebacked
piece of leather has been inserted there. It's not surprising that a book like this would need to be rebacked.
Oh no, a lot of wear and tear on this joint area. Here. Also, the end paper you see, it's a very complicated form of end paper, but this one also has been repaired. This is a new piece of
the new cloth
that would not have been there originally.
Yeah.
And also, this is a Victorian coated paper for the end paper, which you can't get anymore.
Yeah, and the end sheets to all these, it's particularly large Victorian books, were always very complicated and very strong. And usually the first folio would be oversewn or overcast.
I think so,
correct.
yeah. But there it is. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Let's put it away and... that's our first big book.
Yeah. Oh, Dominic, I can't do it. Yes, I can.
Good. Next book is a little book. I'm going to give it to John, and he's going to tell
brought it from home, haven't you?
Yes. And John's going to tell us about it. John.
Oh, this is a lovely book. It's a book printed in 1714. It's a Spanish book of indulgences. Can you tell us what's an indulgence,
Well,
Dominic?
in the Catholic Church, if you commit a sin, you go to the priest and you have an indulgence. You sort of say a little prayer.
A penitent.
You pay a little bit of money.
A little money.
And
well, a lot of money.
Years knocked off in purgatory. You see.
Years.
Yeah, it's like paying a parking ticket, but you can do it. They can mount up.
You know, when I grew up in Colorado, there was a ski area called Purgatory. Is that where you go?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. This little book.
It's a lovely little, bound in the limp vellum style. Soft covers.
And it has these little clasps. Little cord here held on with this lovely little bead.
Yeah.
And the reason this book is so small, of course, is because it's a pocket prayer book.
It's a prayer book meant to be held in your hands.
Yeah, and if you're a monk or a nun or just any kind of religious fanatic of any kind, put it into your little pocket and you can whip it out at quiet moments in the cloister and have a little look at it.
Now, if you go to Mass every day, it would be hard to haul a book like as big as Gould's Book of Birds.
You wouldn't want Gould's Book of Birds, and besides, you can't get years knocked off of purgatory for looking at books.
No, you can't. It doesn't tell you the right things to say.
No, but this is quite gorgeous. There's something of a title page here, not like the other one we saw. This is the early days of title pages. But it does have this lovely initial letter printing here. It's beautiful. It's quite nice. It opens quite nicely.
And the vellum's in amazingly good shape, considering how old it is.
And it has this little, tiny little
headband
which has been sewn here with the sewing thread.
Yeah.
All in all, it's a gorgeous little handy pocket-sized book for churchgoers everywhere. Thank you.
You want to take that back home?
I certainly will. I must say how much I've always admired your bust, John.
Well, thank you. Mr. Hand, please, the next book, please.
Oh dear. Oh, here it comes.
Yes, yes.
Good, at long last.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you, Mr. Hand.
Thanks, Mr. Hand.
Oh, now...
Yeah, what do we have here?
This book looks a little bit like a barrel. In fact, it's a good job we bought our tapered auger earlier.
Yeah. We might have to plug this thing later.
There it is.
What book do we have here, Dominic?
It says Gutenberg Jubilfeier. But it's a scrapbook of things
I
relating
believe it was from the Gutenberg Jubilee.
Absolutely, but look at this thing.
Yeah. This is basically a scrapbook or a photo album for a amalgam of ephemera that was printed for the 500-year Gutenberg Jubilee.
Yeah. The nice thing about this book, it's so thick, of course.
Yeah.
These things are mounted onto card, each one of these little keepsakes.
They're very stiff.
And it has these You can see them here. It has these hinges here, these cloth reinforced hinges, which allow the book, the pages of the book, to hinge beautifully.
They're called guards.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous. And in fact, look, the little book we just saw can come
Passes
right through. Oh, isn't that cute? Because the hollow's so big.
You could have a puppet show with this book.
You could do it. You could skateboard inside there. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's a nice skate ramp.
When it opens up, it really does lie beautifully flat. And look at the size of that hollow now. I mean, look at that. You can't beat that kind of generous hollow dimensions.
Right. You could squeeze oranges in it.
I don't know. You could reprint the Gutenberg Bible.
Reprint the Gutenberg. And what, you know, anything smaller for the 500-year Gutenberg Jubilee would be smaller.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Let's close it up and see what happens. Oh!
Now, on the front of this book, you see these bosses, or these brass buttons. That this book obviously needs a lot of protection because it's so heavy.
Yeah, these
How
are
much
about,
do you think this book weighs?
Oh, I don't know, about 30 pounds.
No, I think more than that.
This book has a boss. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick. They're like big buttons,
and
they make sure the book stays up on the surface of the table. It's absolutely the most incredible thing we found during our sojourn here. Nice end paper, printed. All
this is the best thing they'd let us take out of special collections.
Yeah, I'm taking this home for the weekend actually to do a bit of weightlifting practice. And there it is, Mr. Hand, please.
Mr. Hand, Mr. Hand, please take this book away, Mr. Hand.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hand.
Oh.
And so we're moving on to the last two books that we have to show.
Very important historical documents.
Both rather small.
Yes.
This one, gosh, this is Officium BMV. I presume that means Blessed Virgin Mary. The nicest thing about this little book.
This book is really something else.
If you open it up, what?
I believe this book was printed at the Planten Moretus in Antwerp.
Oh, it means nothing to me.
Yeah,
the
very
nice
famous printing office.
Look at the size of the pages of this book. It actually was meant to be that small.
It's only about 1/3 of what is actually done here.
All this is waste from the printed page, which has been bound without being cut. So actually this book is about twice
probably meant to be a temporary binding.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
Lovely paste paper on here, gorgeously made.
Yeah, and I believe this label probably came later.
I think
a librarian probably put that on, because that label would not have been there.
Looks like one that I may have done. Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, maybe our friend Dan Flanagan did it.
Isn't that exquisite, though?
It's really something
weird.
else. And the paper is just in amazingly good shape for being, what, 400 years old.
Absolutely. And what about your little book?
Well, I have a little volume of Horace here.
Oh, show it to us.
Yeah. Printed in Paris.
Huh.
Can't remember what year it was printed. 18th century, I believe.
Yeah.
And you need a microscope to read it.
Yeah. Or close-up lens, which we also have.
Half leather binding with nice sort of marble paper.
Yeah, it is a marble paper, yeah.
Waxed. Nice tooling on the sides.
Beautiful. It actually looks like the huge binding we saw earlier.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Gould's.
In miniature. It has a lovely gilded edge up here, doesn't it, too? Nice gold leaf on the edges of the pages.
Yeah.
It's absolutely charming. It has a nice...
It's a very charming book.
Non-per-eye end paper.
Right, and once again, it was a common book that you could carry around in your pocket, or if you on the metro.
Absolutely.
Right.
These are all things that you can just hide them away anywhere about your person.
Right.
And nobody will know.
Yeah. And what else do you have up your sleeve, Dominic?
Oh, a little something. Anyway, well, enough of our tomfoolery. We have one more book that we haven't looked at. One big book. Where is it?
I can't remember where we put it.
Mr. Hand, where is it? Oh, John.
What's Mr. Oh.
It's here.
Oh.
It was sitting in front of us all the time, we never realised. This is the most incredible thing. This is a 19th century ledger.
Right.
This is calfskin. This is called Russia banding.
It's the Bureau of Streets from the Board of Public Works of the City and County of San Francisco.
It has maps and lists of properties around the city. Every plot of land is marked on here.
All written by hand.
And if you live in an old house, you can come down here.
You can look up the history of it.
Found out when it was built and etc. Yeah. It's quite a gorgeous thing.
This is a classic ledger binding.
Again, it has to be this big because it has to have all these huge scale maps.
And it's bound so that you can write all the way to the inner margin.
Yeah. It has this famous spring back.
You may have seen these books before in another of our shows.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about them then, did we? They were just furniture.
No, they were just props.
This is the most incredible thing, and if we close it up...
Yeah. I think this one's even heavier than our barrel.
It is. It's the best thing we've ever seen, and I think we're going to try and take it home with us.
An amazing spring back.
Sneak it past the
yeah
people at the front desk.
I'll create a distraction.
And it has lots of dust as well.
And it's amazing. It has a Star of David tooled onto the front of it.
You can see that. Yeah, that's great too.
God knows why.
Oh, there it is.
Right.
Well, that just about wraps up our little foray into the world of big books and small books for today, doesn't it, John? But
it certainly does.
I think it's time for a word from our sponsors, don't you?
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bookbinding's a sedentary craft. That's why you need to stay in shape. Ever had trouble lifting those big family Bibles? Coming home from work dog-tired and uninspired? Well, if that's so, it's time you said hello to Divido Gym! Divido Gym, brought to you by the dedicated staff at R&D Enterprises, purveyors of the finest in bookbinding exercise equipment. The Divido Gym tones, shapes, and transfers precise measurements simultaneously, all in the comfort of your own bindery. The Divido Gym. Isn't it time you measured up? Available only from Riley Demerritt Enterprises. Price $99.99. Not all colors are available.
The opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the guest speakers and in no way reflect the opinions of the San Francisco Public Library or City Watch, Cable 54.
Quiet Passion, a retrospective exhibition of the work of Rick Cusick, calligrapher and graphic designer, will take place at the San Francisco Public Library in the third floor exhibit area through September 30th. The exhibition is entitled Quiet Passion, reflective of Cusick's dedication to letter forms as an art and a craft. It will feature examples of his calligraphy, lettering, typography, and publications design spanning 25 years of his distinguished career. Rick Cusick grew up here in Stockton, California, where he was first introduced to calligraphy as a student. After school, Cusick moved to Missouri and began work as a book designer for Hallmark Cards, Incorporated. Here he had the unparalleled opportunity to learn from the great German type designer and calligrapher Hermann Zapf. His career has also included teaching, publishing, and acting as art director for Lettering Arts Review. Cusick has won numerous awards for his work, best characterized in Alphabet, the Journal of the Friends of Calligraphy. His calligraphy and design reflect the best in our heritage of letter forms, tempered and developed by his uniquely selective vision. That's Quiet Passion, the work of Rick Cusick, on view now in the third floor exhibit area of the main library. Library patrons at several of the branches are meeting to discuss favorite works of literature. Titles change regularly. Here's the schedule for the month of September. On Wednesday, September 6th at 7 p.m., the Eureka Valley Harvey Milk Branch group will discuss 2 or 3 Things I Know for Sure by Dorothy Allison, whose 1992 novel, Bastard Out of Carolina, became a bestseller and was nominated for the National Book Award. This book is a non-fiction memoir of Allison's real family, written again with her powerful and revealing voice. Also on September 6th, the Western Edition Branch group meets at 7:30 p.m. Participants will look at the works of groundbreaking Canadian author Douglas Coupland. Generation X, Life After God, Shampoo Planet, and Microsurfs are among the discussion choices. The Noe Valley Sally Brunn Branch meets on Wednesday, September 27th at 7:30 to read Pnin, a novel by Vladimir Nabokov, the author of Lolita. The San Francisco Chronicle said, Pnin is a novel which will introduce you to an exquisitely rare character, and perhaps to one of the most remarkable authors ever to take refuge in the English language. The Bernal Heights group meets on Friday, September 29th at 4 p.m. to discuss Streets of Laredo by Larry McMurtry. This book is the sequel to the Pulitzer Prize-winning epic of the American West, Lonesome Dove. That's book discussion groups at your branch library. Want to learn how to read? Want to help someone else learn to read? Contact Project Read of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4388. Project Read is an adult literacy program that provides volunteer one-to-one tutoring for adult learners. Project Read's support of tutors and students includes tutor orientation and training, continuing education workshops for tutors and students, reading diagnostics for students, family programs, and referrals to classroom instruction at community college centers and to other agencies in the community. There are many ways you can help adults achieve their personal reading goals. Call Project Read to find out how. Learn to read or be a reading tutor. Phone 557-4388. And if you're looking for another way to support Project Read, join us on Saturday, September 9th, when enthusiastic supporters of adult literacy will walk, stroll, strut, jog, or dance down and through the historic Embarcadero, all for the benefit of Project Read. The beautiful 4.5-mile course starts at Justin Herman Plaza. That's Project Read's second annual Move-a-thon. Register now. Simply call 557-4388.
The Vernon Heights Branch Library presents lectures, films, and book discussion groups in Spanish on the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m. Additionally, during September, an extra session will be held on Tuesday the 26th. La Biblioteca de Vernon Heights ofrece presentaciones, películas y discusiones de libros el primer y tercer miércoles de cada mes a las 7 de la noche y además durante el mes de septiembre habrá una sesión extra el martes 26. And on Saturday, September 2nd, the Excelsior branch is holding a citizenship workshop in Spanish and English. This event is being sponsored by La Raza Centro Legal and will begin at 11:30 a.m. Y el sábado 2 de septiembre, la Biblioteca de Excelsior ofrecerá una orientación en inglés y en español de cómo obtener la ciudadanía. Este evento es patrocinado por La Raza Centro Legal y comenzará a las 11:30 de la mañana.
Come see a free, large-screen video showing every Thursday at noon in the main library's Lurie Room. The September video series features television's golden age of comedy, beginning with September 7th, The Great Gleason, a tour through the many characters created by Jackie Gleason, also starring Art Carney and Audrey Meadows. On September 14th, 10 from Your Show of Shows, 10 classic skits from the Sid Caesar Comedy Hour, starring the ensemble cast of Sid Caesar, Imogene Coca, Carl Reiner, and Howard Morris. On September 21st, Burns and Allen Show, 2 full episodes from the 1952 season. And on September 28th, Ernie Kovacs, TV's original genius, footage and interviews with Jack Lemmon, Steve Allen, Edie Adams, and Chevy Chase attest to the creativity and originality of Kovacs' humor and to his groundbreaking use of the TV medium. That's the golden age of television comedy. Free videos every Thursday at noon in the main library. And while you're in the mood for history, check out the Homefront, San Francisco in the 1940s. 13 exhibit cases of World War II San Francisco memorabilia. Here's Ron Ross with a look at the Homefront exhibit now showing on the second floor of the main library.
My name is Ron Ross. I am the founder and the president of the San Francisco History Association, a nonprofit organization founded in 1982 to preserve and exhibit memorabilia on the city's history. The exhibit was put together by the display committee of the San Francisco History Association to help commemorate the 50th anniversary of the ending of World War II and to show the public in San Francisco what it was like to be living in San Francisco during the 1940s through this whole 5-year period of the war. So this is like a neighborhood thing, just to show life in the city. Rather than just focus in on just the UN, we covered all the subject matters of life in general. Some of the interesting ones that we have in there are the one with the nightlife, showing all the souvenir photos that the servicemen used to go out and have their photo taken with their girlfriends or their wives and things. And we have a selection of all the different nightclubs that were going on in the city at the time that show what this place was jumping. Also, there's the one on the ration books with the ration stamps and the newspapers for the bundles and the fat that we used to save and give to the butcher's fat for making explosives. And there's war savings bonds, the bond drives, and what the kids in the schools did, how they saved their pennies and went to the post office to buy a 10-cent stamp to get a bond for $18.50 and did their part in the war effort. They're all interesting, every one of them. Each one tells its own story. You just have to sit and really read it and realize what you're reading, and then research it even further. And I think that could be done here at the library. And it's all authentic. There is no copies in there. Most of the time people put up copies of Xeroxes. We do not do that. We use original materials. So everything in there is 50 years old and in beautiful condition. Some of those war posters out there are just unbelievable. I would like them to walk away with the feeling that they have relived some of the past of San Francisco, and it's not that long ago, 50 years ago. It's easier than taking the 1906 earthquake out of here. And there are a lot of people that are still around that remember that period or grew up as kids in that period, and they'll come down and just look at this and let them get all these fond memories back again.
So whether you were around or not, stop by the second floor of the main library for The Homefront, San Francisco in the 1940s, on exhibit through the 26th of September.
The San Francisco Public Library's Services for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired is located on the second floor of the main library, Civic Center. Staffed with personnel fluent in American Sign Language, the Services for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired contain numerous resources for and about the deaf and hearing impaired. The library's deaf services may be reached via TTD at phone number 557-4433 or voice phone at 557-4434. Hours of operation are Mondays, 12 noon to 5 p.m., Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 12 noon to 8 p.m., and Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 12 noon to 5 p.m.
City Guides are volunteers who enjoy the city and its stories. Let them share their knowledge and enthusiasm with you on free walking tours of various San Francisco locations. Call 557-4266 for more information on free public tours of San Francisco.
You too can be a friend of the San Francisco Public Library. Join us. For more information, phone the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257.
We'd like to hear what you think of At the Public Library. Please send your comments to San Francisco Public Library, Media Production Services, Civic Center, San Francisco, California, 94102.
You've been watching At the Public Library, here on Cable Channel 54, City Watch. At the Public Library features news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. And for a printed copy of some of the information in this program, pick up a copy of At the Public Library at your branch or at the main library. Tune in next time for more At the Public Library, and thanks for watching.